Hi Aries, and welcome to your July 2020 General Tarot Forecast. This is Sky here to talk about the energies coming in for your sign this month. Thank you guys so much for being here. I hope that you are feeling hopeful as we are moving into your fellow cardinal sign Cancer season, and then heading towards your fellow fire sign Leo season. So this period of time of July is usually always quite empowering for Aries, because it's familiar. Both of the signs this month are familiar and very close to your own heart. As I feel that your main goal this month is to heal the heart and to work with the heart chakra to some degree. It feels like you're really working hard and you're really making progress to really combine your creativity with your new ideas and your work ethic and your concerted efforts. There's a lot of effort that I'm feeling coming from your energy right now, and I think as you're coming into July, you need to really just sit still for a moment, especially during Cancer season, and think quite a bit about where effort is going, how time is being managed perhaps, how you are managing what is underneath you. You have the Strength card coming up as your only major arcana card this month, which to me says that all of your energetic experiences are leading back to how you manage and heal your heart and whatever you feel to be like a beast from within. So the Strength card is all about taming a beast, or something that has felt out of control now becomes more controlled. So also what I'm feeling for you, Aries, is that you are exiting out of something that felt to be a nuisance as well, or something that was not authentic. I feel is really making itself clear early in July too, and you're really trying to make things a little bit more just authentic and easy, because your sign has not had the easiest time this year. All the cardinal signs have been challenged this year. You know, you have Chiron in your sign right now, and it is going retrograde in this month. So Aries is going to really kind of become a teacher for all of us. The wounded healer archetype that Chiron represents will look back at itself and sort of move in reverse. So some of you might do a lot of shadow work this month. Okay, I feel that strongly. Some of you might really no longer self-deprecate or convince yourself that you're unable to achieve a certain goal. Negative self-dialogue could come in this month, but I think that you are making a concerted effort to heal it. And by the time that Chiron goes direct in a few months, you will really, I think, see that this period from about now until September actually changed your game in a very dynamic way. So having faith, having assurance that abundance will come in is important, but meeting that with some amount of hard work and work ethic without burning yourself out. I think that all the fire signs this year in 2020, as there's not a lot of fire energy, we're all learning how to not burn out, how to have passion, how to fulfill our desires without overdoing it and without losing the spark in the first place. So you're really leading and pioneering the way in that field this month, Aries. So definitely pay attention to what you have passion for, to what you're wanting to pursue, and also what is just a slog, or what is difficult to get done, or what you've wanted before but now just feels like a burden. Understanding how you want to now play that, or how you want to now build those things up, is really important this month, because I don't necessarily see that quitting or stopping the things that are just a bit stale. I don't think that that's necessarily right either, but it really feels that they start to occupy a new space in your life. Because you need to commit as well. There's a commitment, or there is a bit of a contracting energy here for you too, which can be very positive. I mean, it's a Capricorn year, so we're all committed to something. So yeah, not great to just stop, or to just give up, or to just, have nothing that there is commitment to, but at the same time, not selling yourself off to that commitment, or not making that something that's inauthentic. So that middle ground will be your saving grace this month for sure. And as I was thinking about some of the contracts, or some of the commitments, or things that you have committed to, Aries, a little bit more deeply, I would like to note that I did get a very ill feeling, you know, and not to worry you or anything, but I think that the T-square energy this month with the Capricorn stellium and with the Cancer season really offsetting you in from both 90-degree angles. These angles in astrology are not easy ones, okay? They're not, you know, flowing and harmonious. So the commitments and the contracts right now are to some degree inevitable, and some of them will really benefit you. But I want you to really not push yourself too hard, okay? Sometimes things that feel like a breath of fresh air, or things that are hopeful or bright and flashy and seem prosperous, these things can be more of a contract than we realize. So I don't want you to fool yourself if it comes to like buying a home or surrounding yourself with something really glorious that seems like that now, but might be more of a commitment than you realize. Where Aries flourishes right now is in the care of their health, okay? Don't mix up the exterior health and the things around you with the interior health. They will go hand in hand, but during a time of the year where you have these 90-degree angles, these squares, it just takes a sort of across the board, even and equal sort of self-distribution of healing potential. And what does that mean? If you overdo something, Aries, which could be a little bit possible this month with, you know, 9 of Wands coming up, 8 of Pentacles coming up, a lot of y'all are working really hard. And with the Strength card too, something is like taking a lot of effort, okay? Something is really like challenging. And I think that it will reward you. It will give you so much in the future. And in hindsight, you'll look back and see that this elevated you in such a keen and dynamic way. But I think for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you guys really have to push, or if you really have to, you know, invest so much energy to make something happen, on the other side of it, Aries, there has to be relief, okay? This is not a time for anybody, and I can resonate with this too, Aries. You know, I'll just give my situation as an example to you guys. I've recently moved. I've recently worked really hard in my personal life, and I've raised the bar to make sure that my, you know, presence here on YouTube and on Patreon and doing everything that I do is not interrupted while I moved. And that was a huge expenditure of energy. And for me, what I have to do, what I have a obligation to do to myself in a time like this, or for myself in a time like this, is on the other side of it to give myself some amount of relief. You know, I could have chosen to pull back a little bit more. I could have chosen to maybe take a week off while I moved, and then, you know, done more on the other side of it. But since I've chosen to do a lot during the move and spend so much energy, I have to now pull back a little bit. There are certain times astrologically where we can just keep going and just keep pushing and just keep, you know, do the move and do the work at the same time, and then keep the schedule going. And of course, I will do that in a way too. Like, I'm not about to, you know, completely stop my output, but what that's going to look like for me, as I also have a nodal axis in Aries and Libra, so I can resonate with your energy very well, it probably means that I'm just going to have to, you know, turn off the notifications for a little while, probably for 3 or 4 days once I finish this batch of readings, and once I get caught up, I'm just going to have to go radio silent, you know. I might even have to take 1 week off. We'll see how I'm doing, but it's necessary to really listen to the body and listen to the health of the body. We do have certain health implications around us, you know, having coronavirus, having, you know, a plethora of potentials with our health right now. We don't want to really suppress ourselves, or we're kind of endangering ourselves if we really over energized. So it just felt important to say to you, Aries, that you will gain more through doing a bit less this month, actually, okay? Because you guys have a lot on your plate. That's really what I'm feeling. Strength, 8 of Pentacles, 9 of Wands. That's a bit too much to me. There's something about it that's too much. So I want you guys to really rejuvenate, and I want you to think of Cancer season more as a resting phase or a gestalt phase than a huge phase of output, because it can really be that. It's a cardinal sign. It can, like, really want to be uninterrupted, and it has like this goal and it wants nobody to get in the way of it. I don't know if you guys have noticed with the Mercury retrograde in Cancer that traffic is crazy and people are driving like bats out of hell. I don't know if you've noticed that. I don't really care about that type of thing. I'm actually somebody who does not really get into road rage or anything like that. But it's been like overwhelming to me, like how fast people have been driving lately. And I'm not a prude about that type of thing. Every once in a while, I'll drive quite fast myself. But I've been really surprised about Mercury retrograde in Cancer and how it's made people like really like swerve through traffic and like drive really fast. And I've just noticed it. I've noticed that it's different than I've ever seen it, and people are really driving so quickly. And I think that could also be correlated to maybe our personal lives too. Are we driving way too fast through our personal lives? Are we like bats out of hell in our own, progressions? And Mercury, it makes sense to me why Mercury retrograde in Cancer would do that, because it's like, and this affects Aries really prominently because it's your square, it's your fellow cardinal sign. So this Mercury retrograde is more prominent for you. So why I'm talking about it for you is for this reason, is because, and this is happening at the beginning of July, and it will get better as you're moving through July, but I just wanted to talk about it because I bet you're feeling it coming from June. What I want to say is that I think a lot of us had somewhere to be, or a lot of us had this, we had to show up for the shift, or we had to get to the certain place, and a lot of us lost track of time, and we walked out of the door knowing that it's a 30-minute drive and we've only got 10 minutes before we're supposed to be there. And that's a lot of the energy that we're all in as we move into July, okay, especially coming out of late June. And what it means is that a lot of us are driving like bats out of hell to still get there late anyway. So it's important to think about why we do this to ourselves, why we lose track of time, why we lose track of where we were. Are we really taking from ourselves, not giving ourselves enough time or enough comfort to feel comfortable with doing things in the timely way that ends up making us feel, comfortable? So these are all things to think about, Aries. You're a quick moving sign. You're a pioneer. I know that y'all love your sports cars. Y'all love your quick movements. I'm Mars in Sagittarius. I totally understand. I'm right there with you. But watch out for accidents or any type or risky things right now. We all need to move more slowly in Cancer time. And this is something that I think, from what I've seen, people are really struggling to understand from inside. It's like, I just want you to move more slowly. A lot of our inner guides or our souls are telling us, please slow it down. Please slow it down. And a lot of us are driving like bats out of hell anyway. So really important to think of and really important to sit with. So to get into the week-to-week quickly here, Aries, let's talk about your first week in July, Strength rooted down by King of Wands. I'm not going to say that that's anything bad, because it's not. Like, that's a wonderful, wonderful energy. A lot of you are finally understanding the context of your next artistic development or your next creative expression, and working with the ego in a way where you can actually manifest it. So the first week of July will be a great time to just sit down with your instrument or with your canvas and to really tame that beast in a way and get it out. I think that a lot of you are having more fun during that week too. It feels quite fun, it feels quite lively, and it feels like you need to just keep things like oriented towards fun. This isn't about something that has to be, oh my gosh, I've got to get this released, or I've got to do this, or I've got to do that. This is just about making it a little bit funner. Because it's a challenge with this triple retrograde conjunction in Capricorn for things to feel enjoyable and fun. Mars is going into your sign, Aries, and it's going to retrograde in your sign. We're going to have Mars in Aries for like the rest of the year. So that will actually be a really nice sideline to the Capricorn energy. It's going to change the tone of that a lot as well. And because Mars in Aries is such a fun energy, it's a sporty, athletic, fun, energy. And it's not meant to be like heavy and dull and boring, okay, like the triple retrograde conjunction in Capricorn can be. So we're gonna have more things on the side that give us some amount of fun, but we have to then be able to also be responsible to the Capricorn stuff, of course. But I want the first week of July for you guys to be just a fun, creative outlet, That's really what that looks like to me. Week number 2, we have 4 of Pentacles rooted down by 8 of Pentacles. And that's where we start to get into like a lot of weird minutia coming up for you guys. So many different things, so many different things to hammer down, so many different things to hold on to. I think that you guys need to just make things simpler. That could be so enjoyable for those of you who've opened that creative capacity that you have in the first week. It seems like a lot of you are just like really perhaps enjoying the creative process. So for some of you, it's so wonderful. Others of you need to open things up just a little bit more. 4 of Pentacles can be like, okay, I'm just going to hold on to everything that I have. All of, you know, any money is just going to be saved, and that's good during this time. We all need to be saving to some degree, but some of us need to also invest or to give back to ourselves or to maybe invest in our craft. That's really what that looks like to me, second week of July, investing in a craft. And it's not necessarily money, energy. Maybe it's time into a craft. Maybe it's energy into a craft. A lot of us need to really do things that we've not let ourselves do, okay? A lot of us need to let our hair down. A lot of us need to just not be so corseted and not be so strict on ourselves. It doesn't mean be reckless. A lot of us will be reckless. It doesn't mean to, you know, be undiscerning, but it does mean to finally let yourself do what you've wanted to do in a way. So second week of July, also with Venus finally being good and direct in Gemini, it could be interesting for those of you who are single to start dating, or also to heal any wounds in a relationship, or to really build a relationship in a stronger way too. Week number 3, you guys have Knight of Cups rooted down by Ace of Swords. So you're going to learn about something in the third week. You might learn a secret. Somebody might tell you a secret. Somebody might or you might even discover of a lie or something like that, and that's okay. Try to not worry too much about it. A lot of us are actually learning that people were tricky, or that people were not who they said they were. And if that comes in, try to just move on, move forward. This is not where we're meant to focus right now. It is prevalent. Like, I think that there are scandals that will come out, especially towards Leo season, dealing with the ego, okay? Dealing with other people's egos, dealing with, you know, what we've contributed most of our creative capacity to, especially if that's been something unreal or not good for other people. So I don't want to worry you guys there, because it's only going to benefit you, Aries. With Ace of Swords coming in, any type of scandal or any type of secrets or any type of anything that's revealed is just going to give you good ideas. It's going to give you good insight into how you want to move forward. So don't let it be something that's hard. And for most of you, for like an overwhelming majority of Aries people, I think that just somebody's going to confide in you, and it's going to give you a better understanding of your own life. Like, you have a good friend, or you have somebody you're in a relationship with, they just confide something that you might have understood, but it's like a new level of something that you knew about them that they could not quite articulate. And as they tell you, it helps you to understand yourself more. It helps you to understand your artistic expression more. It's not meant to be something that's like bad or distracting. And then the fourth week, you have 8 of Wands rooted down by 9 of Wands. So chronological order. This is important for all of us, but especially Aries, to understand that abundance, windfall, all of these things that we want out of life, like, yes, I want to win the lottery, 8 of Wands. I want to have the successful business. I want to have, you know, the extremely fiery, passionate relationship. Chronologically, that leads us to 9 of Wands always. And yes, life is meant to be abundant. Life is meant to give. But we have to also understand that as we're given, as we become more abundant, we need also to prepare for that taking a lot of effort and a lot of manifestation and a lot of energy to receive, okay? As we elevate, there's a staircase, and we're walking up the stairs, and it's the higher we elevate, the more energy we have to expend to get up there. So this is very clearly depicted in the tarot, and it's something for Aries to really start to understand and take comfort in, actually, okay? This could be so much more comfortable. This could be so much more committing. Okay, so this is interesting, Aries. And all fire signs will struggle with this because 9 of Wands rules burnout. And it's interesting to see that 8 of Wands comes right before that. As we succeed, as we start to get what we want, as we start to be given by the universe, sometimes fire signs and Aries and Sagittarius especially, they can get it and then they can just like burn out immediately because they always want to be in that 8 of Wands mode, you know? They always want to be in that windfall mode, and it's always early on when the universe gives that we find ourselves there. And then as it becomes more routine oriented and it becomes, you know, we start to feel a little bit more confined by the benevolence, we want to get out of that and we just go back to 8 of Wands. So a lot of fire signs' lives can be spent just going back and forth between 8 and 9 of Wands energy. So that's the 4th week of July for you, Aries, where you might finally stop perpetually going back and forth and really make this abundance and new energy into something much more giving and much less of a burden, okay, while still receiving. So wonderful, wonderful energy, Aries. I think I'm going to conclude your general reading there. Keep things light, keep things tame, keep things not in the area of burnout, but rather in the area of really pulling together all of these abundances and not being scared of them, but really platforming off of them and really access that inner King of Wands energy, you know, that creative expression, that mature creative expression, and that will lead you to the best place. Anyway, Aries, I'm going to be putting together an extended reading on Patreon. If you'd like to see more, I'm going to do a central theme as well as 2 supporting themes, and you can click the center of your video to find that. I hope you'll all come over and check it out. I also do tea chats and other types of content over on Patreon, so be sure to check that out. And as always, your likes, comments, and subscribes here on YouTube make my day. I'll talk to you soon, Aries. Much love. Bye.